What you are about to read is a story. It is a story pieced together from historical records and public information. While we strive for accuracy, the life of a person from long ago can sometimes be like a distant star. We see its light, but some details remain shrouded in the vastness of time. The images you will see are for illustrative purposes. They are meant to help us visualize a world that once was, a world that gave birth to an idea that would ripple through generations. Now let us journey back to the beginning, to understand the man whose curiosity changed the way the world drinks. Caleb Davis Bradham was born in a small town called Chinquapin, North Carolina. The year was 1867. This was a time of great change in America, a period just after the Civil War. He grew up in a world that was rebuilding and full of new possibilities. His family was respected in their community. They believed strongly in the power of education. Young Caleb was a bright and ambitious student. He carried with him the hopes of his family and a desire to make a name for himself in the world. He dreamed of a future where he could help people and build something lasting. His journey into higher learning took him first to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He was a good student, well liked by his peers and professors. After his time there, he set his sights on becoming a doctor. He enrolled at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. It seemed his path was set. He was going to dedicate his life to healing the sick. But sometimes, life has other plans for us. A sudden and unfortunate turn of events in his family's business meant he could no longer afford his medical school tuition. He had to leave his dream of being a doctor behind. This setback could have been the end of his story. For many, it would have been a moment of defeat. But for Caleb Bradham, it was a detour, not a dead end. He returned to his home state of North Carolina. He briefly worked as a public school teacher before deciding on a new path. He would pursue a career in pharmacy. This field still allowed him to help people with their health, just in a different way. He purchased a drugstore on the corner of Middle and Pollock Streets in New Bern, North Carolina. This small-town pharmacy, known simply as Bradham's Drugstore, would become the unlikely birthplace of a global phenomenon. In the late 19th century, a drugstore was more than just a place to get medicine. It was a social hub, a community gathering spot. People would come in to chat, catch up on local news, and enjoy a refreshing drink from the soda fountain. Soda fountains were incredibly popular. Pharmacists would mix their own unique syrups with carbonated water to create delicious beverages. Caleb Bradham was no different. He was a creative man, always experimenting with new formulas and flavors. He enjoyed crafting these concoctions for his customers, watching their faces light up with delight as they tasted his latest creation. Bradham noticed that many of his customers came in complaining of indigestion and stomach pains, a common ailment known as dyspepsia. He wondered if he could create a drink that was not only delicious but also helpful for digestion. He believed a pleasant-tasting beverage could also be a healthy one. This idea became his new focus. He began a series of experiments, mixing various ingredients like sugar, caramel, cola nuts, and a blend of rare oils. He was searching for the perfect combination of taste and therapeutic benefit, a drink that would be both invigorating and soothing. After much trial and error, in the summer of 1893, he finally perfected his formula. He created a syrup that, when mixed with soda water, produced a truly unique and satisfying drink. Initially, he called it Brad's Drink. He sold it right there at his own soda fountain in New Bern. It was an immediate local hit. People loved its crisp, sweet flavor. Customers would specifically ask for Brad's Drink, and its popularity grew by word of mouth. It was more than just another soda, it was the special creation of their trusted local pharmacist. Caleb Bradham knew he had something special. He believed his drink aided digestion and boosted energy. This belief was so central to his invention that he decided to change its name. In 1898, he renamed Brad's Drink to Pepsi-Cola. The name was derived from two of its key concepts: pepsin, an enzyme that helps digest protein, and cola from the cola nuts used in the recipe. The new name sounded more professional and hinted at its intended health benefits. It was a brilliant marketing move that set the stage for the beverage's future, transforming it from a local favorite into a brand with grand ambitions. With the success of Pepsi-Cola growing in his corner of North Carolina, Caleb Bradham's vision expanded. He was no longer just a pharmacist, he was an entrepreneur with a product that people genuinely loved. He realized that the demand was too big for his single soda fountain to handle. In 1902, he made a bold move and applied for a trademark for the Pepsi-Cola name. The following year, the Pepsi-Cola company was officially born. He began selling the syrup to other soda fountains and bottling companies. This was the first step in taking his creation beyond the walls of his small drugstore. The early years were a whirlwind of success. Bradham was a smart businessman. He understood the power of advertising. He promoted Pepsi-Cola as a beverage that was exhilarating, invigorating, aids digestion. His advertisements promised a drink that was not just tasty but also good for you. The strategy worked beautifully. By 1910, there were Pepsi-Cola franchises in 24 states across the country. He was celebrated as a business pioneer, a true American success story. His dream, born from a simple desire to help his customers, had grown into a thriving national enterprise that seemed unstoppable. However, the world was about to change in a way no one could predict. World War I brought immense challenges to businesses everywhere. One of the biggest problems was the rationing of sugar. The price of sugar, a key ingredient in Pepsi-Cola, skyrocketed. Bradham had to make difficult decisions to keep his company afloat. He bought a large amount of sugar at a very high price, believing that the cost would continue to rise. He was gambling on the future, betting that this strategic purchase would secure his company's production capabilities and give him an edge over competitors. Unfortunately, his gamble did not pay off. After the war ended, the price of sugar did not stay high. Instead, it plummeted dramatically. Caleb Bradham was left with a massive, expensive stockpile of sugar that was now worth a fraction of what he paid for it. This catastrophic financial loss was too much for the Pepsi-Cola company to bear. The business that had once been a shining example of success was now facing financial ruin. The sweet ingredient that had made his fortune had now become the source of his downfall, a bitter twist of fate for the ambitious inventor. The financial crisis caused by the sugar market crash was a devastating blow. In 1923, Caleb Bradham and his Pepsi-Cola company were forced to declare bankruptcy. He had to sell the company's assets, including the secret formula, and the trademark he had worked so hard to build. The brand was sold to a company called the Craven Holding Corporation for just $30,000. For Bradham, it was the end of a dream. He lost the company he had poured his life into. He returned to his life as a pharmacist in New Bern, the very place where his incredible journey had begun. He passed away in 1934, never to see his creation rise again. The story of Pepsi-Cola, however, did not end with Bradham's bankruptcy. The brand went through several owners, each struggling to make it profitable. It seemed as though the fizzy drink might just fade into history, but then it was purchased by Charles Guth, the president of a candy company. Guth reformulated the drink and, most importantly, implemented a new marketing strategy during the Great Depression. He started selling a 12-ounce bottle for just 5 cents, the same price competitors charged for a 6-ounce bottle. This twice as much for a nickel campaign was a massive success with cash-strapped consumers. This clever strategy saved the brand from obscurity and put it back on the path to success. Over the following decades, Pepsi-Cola grew into the global powerhouse we know today. It became a major competitor to other soft drink giants, sparking the famous Cola Wars that would define the beverage industry for generations. The company expanded its product line, launched iconic advertising campaigns, and became a symbol of youth culture and modern taste. The brand that Caleb Bradham started in his small pharmacy had finally achieved the worldwide recognition he had once envisioned for it. Though Caleb Bradham did not live to witness the ultimate triumph of his invention, his legacy is undeniable. It is a story of innovation, ambition, and the unpredictable nature of business. He was a man who saw a simple, everyday problem and used his creativity to find a solution that brought joy to people. His creation, Pepsi-Cola, has become more than just a drink. It is a part of our cultural landscape, a familiar taste enjoyed by billions of people around the globe. Every time someone opens a can or a bottle of Pepsi, they are, in a small way, connecting to the story of the North Carolina pharmacist who dared to mix a new idea.